Google has denied analyzing your emails for AI training, but they are still doing petty stuff if you don't use their smart features. Google does lump some of Gmail's older quality of life features in with their more recent Gemini-powered smart features. So saying no to constant LLM writing prompts also means losing categorized inboxes and even freaking spell check. Apparently, they've used artificial intelligence in Gmail for spell check since 2019. Our discussion question is, nowadays, what is your reaction when you hear the word intelligent in the name of a new feature? I think this is a good discussion question. It was less that I wanted to talk about this news and more that I wanted to talk about that.
I feel like if they say intelligent and they don't say
let's assume AI is in there.
Okay, then yeah, usually that it's probably not very good, to be completely honest. A lot of things that have AI attached to it are just worse for it.
You've had this take before where I remember when in the early days of VR, like the current wave of VR, you were often quite upset at the poor implementation of VR technology having the potential to kind of ruin the perception of VR for anyone who tries it. Are we doing that with AI, but on like a hyper scale, like on a way compressed timeline? Like,
yeah, and I think companies are a huge proponent of this. Forcing people to use it when its use case for the thing that they're forcing them to use it for is often dubious. I think there are a lot of ways, like a ton of ways, to beneficially utilize AI for your work and your personal life. I think we as a company are underutilizing it. But I also think there are way more than that ways to use it that are detrimental. And I think it's one of the reasons why I think we haven't really pushed internally to use it a little bit more is because the minefield of ways that you could use it poorly has not been worth it enough to navigate yet on a company-wide scale. So it's been easier for the people that have like shown interest in it and kind of reached out. It's been easier to like work with them to make sure they're using it correctly instead of trying to get everyone to use it all at once. There's that white paper from Microsoft from a while ago, so it's not really up to date anymore, but it was very surprisingly transparent from them at the time when they talked about how companies that were using Copilot saw an increase in output, but like exactly matching. They saw an increase in like error rate, basically. I was like, wow, this is surprisingly honest. And it's a big part of the reason why I've stuck with my line of like, don't use its output. Because you have to own the output of the thing. But a lot of these companies are trying to use it not to, the ways that I would like people to use it, which is to reduce the amount of time that they have to spend on like menial tasks or things that they hate doing or whatever, and be able to focus their time on the thing that they like doing or what they can add more value to. A lot of these companies, instead of doing that, are trying to replace entire jobs with it. And in doing that are often making just massive mistakes because it's not good enough for that, for basically anything yet. Like the most prominently advertised use case at the beginning, in my opinion, like with ChatGPT 3, I think, was when everyone was talking about customer service. Because we've had customer service bots for a long time, but they're usually kind of just like decision trees.
Yeah.
And
if you don't give them exactly the right prompt, then
they weren't going to work. Yep. And then now they were like, oh, LLM versions of this are going to be great. And then almost immediately people got them to go off the rails and give people free products or crazy discounts or whatever. And a few companies that tried to replace their customer service workforce with this just got wrecked and then had to hire a bunch of people back again.
Yeah, who says nothing positive came out of the AI revolution?
Yeah, fair enough. So I do think there's like a lot of, and this is kind of the different part here, is a lot of companies trying to use it internally has given people a bad first experience with these tools. I think also people knowing that you can like cheat in school so easily with it and stuff is giving it just a weird.
Well, it's kind of like it's almost like the Graphene OS thing that way, where it's like Graphene OS is really good because it enhances privacy, but it gets this sort of bad rap because enhanced privacy happens to be really good for the criminal element, and so they get that brand association. So in the same way, like LLM use gets that brand association with cheaters, even though it can be used as a legitimate tool in cases where there was no guideline that this was supposed to be your own thoughts and your own work. Like my stepdad is an educator, and one of the big challenges for him is that he has a student who has some kind of religious affiliation of some sort that makes it so that they can't see if they're wearing a covert listening device in tests. And he has kind of no idea how to deal with this because whenever it's like a surprise sort of something, the work is atrocious. You know, talking to this person or corresponding via text is atrocious. But every time there's an exam situation, they do really good. But they're like he can't see their ears. So
because there are tools that work this way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and so so AI, and he's really smart. Like he can kind of see past that to the utility of it as well, and sort of the broader
you do like
application
scanning?
of it. But I could see how someone could have this experience with AI,
totally,
and go, okay, well, this is cheating, gross garbage.
Yeah.
Whereas,
like there are, and I talk negatively about it pretty often, but there is the original goodness that I think a lot of people saw in it, of the like renewed renaissance, ability to like hyperscale yourself and learn things really quickly. Like a use case I was talking to Riley about yesterday is I've had this hellish reno going on for a while, and there's been a lot of times where, like, especially at the very beginning when we didn't know what was wrong or what was really happening, I took a picture of the material that I didn't know what it was, and I described where it was in detail in my house, and I sent the picture attached, and it was like, what is this? And it was like, oh, it's probably this. It might be exactly this product. If it's not, it might be these other ones. And I don't necessarily use that, but now I'm like, oh, okay, I know the category that this thing is in now. Now I can do some research on my own and find the details. The ability to get to a level of effective research is very helpful, because like encyclopedias are super cool if we're going back to like pre-internet, but what if you don't know the word to look for?
It's really tough.
Like, and that has scaled slowly over time. Google search helped that. Like Wikipedia helped that. All these different things happen, and then now LLMs in a big way, in my opinion, do help that.
Oh, definitely. I use Lens like probably more than any other AI tool.
Lens is awesome.
Lens is pretty cool.
So like there are really cool things about this that are beneficial to a lot of different people, but there's also major downsides. Like another thing that Riley and I talked about, and this is going to be a Flowpoint exclusive, we talked for like an hour about AI stuff, is like I understand the argument of like, teachers saying you're never going to have calculators in your pockets. Now we obviously have calculators, and like, what is the negative impact on us if we are not as good at like written long form math and mental math because we have calculators all the time? That argument is legitimate when looking at AI stuff, I think, but only to a degree, because now what we're reducing is like the ability to generate good ideas.
Yep, and to fact check
and to think critically
and learn how to
and these are broader
analyze
concepts than mental math. And losing mental math does suck. There are downsides to that.
Yep.
But like, it's not on the same level. I saw a comment somewhere. I don't remember where I saw this. I have genuinely no idea of what the context was, but I saw a comment somewhere where somebody was using, I think it was a music creation app, and they were commenting about how they were like, I think this could be better if like it came up with the prompts for me. Like, do I even really have to prompt it? Can it not just like look at all the songs that I've made and like automatically make new ones for me? And then I can like, I don't know, thumbs up and thumbs down them, and then it'll just automatically make new ones again. Like, I don't even want to do that level of work. And it's like, oof.
That's a huge yikes. By the way, I had a couple people ask, couldn't your dad use like a device for detecting electronics? We actually did a really cool video on just such a device a while back. It's on the LTT channel. It's called I Can Detect Any Hidden Electronic Spy Device, even when it's powered off. That is a heck of a title. Is that really the title we kept? Oh, I rented an Airbnb to look for hidden cameras is the final title. But it's called an NLJD, a nonlinear junction detector. We explain how it works. And they're pretty cool. They're very expensive and not practical.
Okay. Yeah.
For like home use. But yeah, they can detect electronic devices even when they are powered off, which is pretty cool. It's like some Cold War era like bug sweeping tech.